This is SoIN.
This is SoIN.
This is SoIN. This is SoIN.
This is SoIN.
This is SoIN. I'm Angie Fenton. Thanks for joining us. This morning, we're honoring 698 senior volunteers who are making a lasting impact throughout our community. And that includes 3 couples who've all been chosen Volunteers of the Year. But first, Seal Spurzl, the face of our most recent cover of Extol and the leader of one of Southern Indiana's largest volunteer organizations. All of us at This Is SoIN and Extol Media Production are so excited to collaborate and celebrate with Retired Senior Volunteer Program of Hope Southern Indiana, a part of AmeriCorps Seniors, to celebrate 698 senior volunteers who are located throughout our Southern Indiana region. This is Seal Spurzl, who's in charge of that program. Seal, let's start here with this. First, what people usually know as RSVP?
Well, what it is a program that is the path to service for people who might want to volunteer. Most of those are retired, and by the time they find that they have time to do it, and they've maybe done all of their honeydews, and they've traveled some, and they babysat for their grandchildren, and now they're ready to find something else to do that keeps them active. And so we have 5 counties: Clark, Floyd, Scott, Harrison, and Jefferson in Southern Indiana. And so it's kind of spread out, and the way we do it is we just learn as much as we can about the potential volunteer needs of various nonprofit organizations and healthcare organizations. And then when people express an interest in volunteering, we have lots of things to offer them.
15%, and correct me if I'm wrong, of your volunteers are 80 and up?
Yeah, it's always amazing to me. I always like to run that stat about the age of our volunteers. And because people retired earlier, but they didn't necessarily start volunteering, or not at something that would continue. You know, they might do a little project here and there, but not at something that they really get invested in and they stay with. So the people who are 80 or over have often been doing the same particular volunteer thing for quite a while, and it fulfills them, and they're dependable.
Did you grow up in an environment where you had parents who said, this is what you do, you give back?
They didn't say it, they just did it.
They did it.
So I tell people that I didn't know it had a name, you know, volunteering. It was just like, you know, when it snowed, Daddy put the snow tires on and filled the back of the truck with bricks and sat in our driveway and pulled everybody up who thought they had to go to work and couldn't get up the hill. So we got them all up the hill. And, you know, as the neighbors began to be elderly and ailing, Mom just took care of them. It's just what you do, you know. So I didn't know it had a name. You know, you just help people.
Okay, Volunteers of the Year. We want to recognize those 698 people, and we're so excited about them. But every year you also highlight some people, and just so happens that it's 3 couples this year. So let's start just really quickly. The Kovaches, Jeannie and Michael, who are from New Albany. Why choose them?
Well, each of them does, you know, they each do separate things pretty much, although both of them work in the Hope Food Pantry. But Michael had been there first, and then Jeannie added that. So they do such a variety of things. And with all 3 of these couples, one of my criteria this year was they were able to continue volunteering through COVID safely. They did not put themselves at risk. They followed, you know, the organizations where they volunteered, made lots of arrangements to allow people to volunteer safely, and so they continued to be able to do things, and they wanted to. You know, they were Johnny on the spot. And each of those, Jeannie and Michael both do several things, and are always, as you discovered when you were trying to find a time to interview them, you know, they have a schedule. You know, they have a list. One or both of them's doing something every day.
Love it.
Yeah, so they're very busy folks.
Okay, Carol and Richard Ralph from Greenville.
Yeah, so Richard has run the tax site at in Corden for 10 years. And he's not doing it this year, but he will be back. And and that he had more hours served in a year, like 1,200 and something, than in anyone. And I was looking at that. I thought I should at least look to see who's has the most hours when I'm trying to select for this year. Did anybody have a whole lot of hours? Because it is COVID, and it did limit the amount of time that people could spend. But in that 3-month period, or maybe 10-week period where they do taxes, he had 1,200 hours last year. And I thought, well, this is a good place to start. And they do some other stuff.
Okay, how about Barbara and Frank Rauschenbach of Jeffersonville?
Yes, they continued, and they did something that nobody else, we haven't been able to place anybody else in this particular position. At Family Arc, they're in there sorting and working on the, I guess they have a little, I don't even know what they call it, a store. You may know because you've spoken to them. But it's a very specific niche thing, and it's something they can do together, and they were very dedicated and dependable, staying all through the year doing that.
Thank you so much. Congratulations again to it's Retired Senior Volunteer Program of Hope Southern Indiana, a part of the AmeriCorps Seniors. Congratulations to the 698 volunteers from this past year, and of course to our 3 couples who are the Volunteers of the Year. And also, Seal, congratulations to you as well.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Since our humble beginnings in 1908 as New Washington State Bank, we have offered banking the way you want it. Now known as NWSB, we have branches in the communities of Henryville, Charlestown, Borden, Jeffersonville, Sellersburg, Scottsburg, River Ridge, New Albany, and coming in 2022, a state-of-the-art branch in downtown Jeffersonville. As a local bank, all decisions are made right here in Southern Indiana. Our customers enjoy the personal relationships, and we value opportunities to show community support throughout the region. At NWSB, we offer myriad services and modern technology, from online banking to mobile apps with check capture. And we are always here to serve you face-to-face with a smile. At NWSB, you'll find banking the way you want it.
We're highlighting volunteers of the Retired Senior Volunteer Program at Hope Southern Indiana, part of AmeriCorps Seniors. And among the Volunteers of the Year, we have a couple right here. And what's funny is that this year's Volunteers of the Year, they're all couples, but Barb and Frank Rauschenbach from Jeffersonville, you are among that group of 6 people who have really been highlighted. So what is it about volunteerism that keeps you coming back again and again?
Well, it gives us a reason to get up in the morning because we really enjoy doing what we're doing, and we feel like we're helping the community. And we feel like the Lord has put us on this earth to be His hands and feet, and that's why we do it.
Just gets us out of the house pretty well every day, and keeps us younger than we are. And we just enjoy doing it, and it's a blessing for us.
So what are the ways that you all love giving back?
We get in donations, and we organize, we get a lot of toys and clothing, and so we get all that put up, and the people come in that are in need, that are foster parents, families that are trying to get back on their feet, and they help them. And so we just have that stuff available for them.
Now, is this at Family Arc?
That's at Family Arc,
And that is a special organization.
Oh, it is. We just love it there. The people are so nice, and when they do come in with a social worker, they are just so happy that it's organized and they can find what they need. And we're not there all the time, but then we'll get children that'll come in and they'll get a toy, and they're just so happy, and it's just so nice to see that smile on their faces.
Frank, what about for you?
Yeah, it's the same situation. It's wonderful to see, especially the kids that come in, and they'll pick out a toy. And just last week, a new toy came in, just wrapped, was new. Nobody's ever been in it. It was for somebody 8 and older, and a boy. And this happened that same day. There was a 9-year-old boy that came in who was looking for something to play with and to have. And we had it sitting on the table because we didn't know what to do with it for sure. So as soon as we spotted him and he kind of looked at it a little bit, I said, I think this is what you want. And he took it and he was just joyful.
Now, what about, Frank, let's start with you. Did you grow up with a family or parents or someone in your life who made volunteerism a part of the way things were?
Well, I have a sister she had a center for seniors, and she was a HIMEX center that was up in Auburn, Indiana, and she actually started it and grew it, and so it was a place for the older people to come on a daily basis, and she was always open. She had a home there that she could use, and so she was probably the most of all of I have 2 sisters, and she was the older one, and she did that.
Barb, what about for you?
Well, his mom really, she was in a lot of different organizations, and it seemed like she was busy doing things for people. And my mom had a heart for people too, and it just made me want to give back to others.
What is it like to be in the midst of so many people who do volunteer? One of the things that I'm struck by is 15% of RSVP volunteers are 80 and up. I love that.
It's ironic how this all happened, that we found RSVP because I was volunteering at our granddaughter's school. A lady was in there and she just seemed like she was just real sweet and everything. And I just was talking to her and I said, my husband and I like to find a place to volunteer. And she says, well, I've got the place for you. And she said, RSVP. So I got in touch with the lady there, and she met us at McDonald's and asked us what we like to do and everything. And what's so funny about it is we used to go to church with her father-in-law. So we had a connection there. So she asked us questions, and then she said, well, I think I've got a place for you in Family Ark.
My last question for you, what would you say to someone to encourage them, whether it's RSVP or somewhere else, to consider volunteering?
To get involved, because you'll be amazed how good it makes you feel that you're helping others, and that just makes your day when you see others happy. That's what it's all about, I think, just to make others happy on this earth.
Satisfaction.
Yep.
You're satisfied, they're satisfied. It's 100% all around, which is wonderful. I think everybody gets involved. It just builds a good community.
Well, congratulations, Frank and Barb, to you among the 6 volunteers of the year for the Retired Senior Volunteer Program at Hope Southern Indiana, part of AmeriCorps Seniors.
My name is Bert Hodge. I'm the General Manager of Heritage Ford. When I was a child, I stuttered and was dyslexic. I started my career assigned to a junior position on a destroyer, and ultimately I commanded 5 ships, 2 minesweepers, 2 frigates, a SEAL commando ship. I got a lot of exposure to some of the world's greatest leaders. When I retired from the Navy, it was with the intent to join my father here at the dealership. My dad has been an important part of this community for 30 years.
The business has changed tremendously since then, but our moral values have remained the same.
This is a business where honor and integrity matter.
If I'm fair to my customers, they'll come back. If I'm fair to myself, I'll be here when they come back.
I'm proud to have served my country, and I'm proud to sell Fords to my community.
We're celebrating the Retired Senior Volunteer Program of Hope Southern Indiana, a part of AmeriCorps Seniors today, all 698 volunteers, and that includes our 3 couples volunteers of the year. We have Jeannie and Michael Kovac with us. Let's start here. What do you do with RSVP, and really why?
Well, with RSVP, I started with the sewing on Wednesdays. Before that, we've volunteered for years at different places and through the community, and we had been ushering at IUS Ogle Center for years and years. And one of my friends from Ogle Center kept saying, when you retire, come sew with us on Wednesdays. And I've been sewing on Wednesdays ever since. A great group of ladies, and we sew for 4 hours, 10 to 2 on Wednesdays.
Jeannie, what are some of the things that you sew?
I mostly make walker bags now. I make walker bags and clothing protectors, big adult bibs for nursing homes. We've made lap blankets for nursing homes. I've knitted bed socks for nursing homes. We've sewn bags for that teen boot camp that Hope Southern Indiana did. Last year we made flag banners for the graduates of the Veterans Program, Veterans Court, so many different things, and they'll come in with special requests of different things to make for different groups, and we'll make them.
Michael, what about you?
Well, so I got involved with RSVP, found about it through Jeannie, and then I would find out, oh, well, I'm doing this. Well, that can count for this, and that can count for that. So, not long after we moved here, we got involved with the Floyd County Library. And so the Friends of the Library does various activities, does book sales and things like that. And the proceeds go to support the activities at the library. So we've been very heavily involved with that. After lockdown for COVID, I found out. So I had prior to that been taking and playing music once a week at various nursing homes around the area. And so I was talking with Seal Spurzl, and so I mentioned that, and she says, well, do you put that on your hours? I says, well, no, does that count? Because it's not through our, she says, yes, as long as you're volunteering for the community, it's not for a specific church, which we are involved with that too, but that is something different. But, what you're volunteering for the community, so that counts. And then I've done various other things. Again, during lockdown, I was cutting out fabric too.
I drafted him.
Put him to work.
And so it's just a part of being a part of community, because we need to be engaged, to recognize other people as part of who we are.
You've been selected as Volunteers of the Year with 2 other couples. So what does that feel like for you?
Well, I was surprised because I feel I see so many people doing so many things. I don't see what we're doing as anything extraordinary.
As far as being selected, I'll echo what Jeannie said, that it's like, wow, okay, but there's other people that do this, and that is so neat, and other people that do that is really cool.
Well, I think Leanne Lindley, I think Angie Graff from Hope Southern Indiana, and Seal Spurzl would say that the selection of the 2 of you, along with our other Volunteers of the Year, was made for a reason. We appreciate what you do, but I have a final question for you. But what is, no matter your age, what is one thing that you would tell someone who isn't already integrating giving back into their life? What's one reason you would tell them to compel someone to say, you know what, maybe I need to look and see where I can volunteer?
Well, I know people who say retirement is boring and they're lonely. And those are 2 awful, awful words to have as a big part of your life. And volunteering can take care of both those things.
And as you said, Angie, as you age, we're of the opinion that you don't change, you just become more of what you already are. What you'll find is the more you give, the more you're going to receive.
And the more you give, the more places you're going to see that can use some help.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations to you both, and congratulations to our 698 RSVP volunteers. I love saying that. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more coming up.
I am Adam Christian, the owner and operator of Adam Paul Salon. Adam Paul Salon is a full-service salon. Men's hair, women's hair, coming soon are hair replacement services. But we're also much more than that. I've got 12 years experience working in high-end salons that felt cold, clinical, and creating my own space was able to add some warmth, add some color, add some fun, like your hair. Other than just clients, we're also going to be interested in speaking with stylists who are interested in a smaller culture and in a salon environment like the one I've created. I'm Adam Christian of Adam Paul Salon, and we are excited about our new space.
My name is Carol Ralph, and this is my husband Richard, and we volunteer at 2 or 3 different places. Richard does taxes for the elderly, and I do food pantry in New Albany.
I was retired in '95, and I was sitting home and my wife seen the advertisement in the newspaper for AARP needed volunteers. So that about 15 years ago, I guess it was. And I went down there, and they did it by pencil at that time. So I liked what I was doing, so I started working with the AARP and doing taxes for volunteering. There's a lot of time involved in doing it because you have to read what the current regulations are and make sure you do dummy tax returns, learn how to do it, so put everything to work.
I volunteer at the food pantry, and what we do is we supply people, lower income people, with food, and we get canned goods. We get it from Dare to Care, and it's called Hope. And we fill the order, and then we bring it to the guest, and then we give them fresh vegetables and we give them canned goods, and they can take it home then and make decent meals with it. It's important for people to volunteer because it gives you an incentive, and you enjoy. If you enjoy doing it, then you want to get up and go and do it. And I go once a week, and I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy the people that I work with. They're all nice people, and you get to make friends, and it gets you out of the house.
It's also a learning experience for me. Each year you have to learn a little bit more, and it keeps your mind active and keeps you going. So if you need something to do, that's what you need. You need to find some place that you can volunteer for.
Now it's time to extol all 698 senior volunteers who give of their time through RSVP of Hope Southern Indiana and AmeriCorps Senior Program. We appreciate each and every one of you.
What defines Southern Indiana? Community.
The people.
Rejuvenation.
Local businesses.
Sports.
Animals and people.
Small town.
Culture.
Community.
Great place to own a business.
People.
Tight-knit community.
Tradition.
Friends.
Neighborhood gatherings.
Food is awesome.
Southern Indiana is home.